District. My name, for all of you who don't know me, as an introduction, we'll be asking you your name and also your experience as a first volunteer. My name is Lee Frishman. I have been a field supervisor at the Alamo District. I've also been part of all of these that are here, Houston, San Antonio. And I've been a first volunteer since 2009. Can you guys introduce yourselves? Start with the lady.
I'm Jacqueline, and I have volunteered with First in the past.
Okay.
I am Ray, and I am a first-time volunteer.
First timer. Awesome. Great to have you guys. So, introductions having been done, let's talk about what FRC actually is. Strict rules, 6-week time limit. You guys will see robots that you have never seen before. Kids will build robots that will amaze you. They have 6 weeks. Intense 6-week time limit, teams of students get to build them, and then they get to compete with those robots. It's close to real world engineering as possible. We try to make it so that you have to build, you have to run them, and you have to stay within a strict cost limit. That is the first robotics competition. What will you be doing as a field supervisor? Now, Jacqueline, I believe you've actually seen me in action as a field supervisor. Is that right?
I have.
You have. Well, guess what? You're going to get to do it. Okay? Field supervisor for first robotics competition is a key volunteer position. Basically, you are the number 2 person at the regional. You will be in charge of everybody that is running that regional, all the volunteer crews that are working that regional. You get to supervise them. Okay? Field assembly and disassembly. We're going to talk a little bit about the field. Jacqueline, you've seen some of these fields and you know how long they take. We're going to talk about one of the fields right now, or in a few minutes, that actually was probably the end of my career as a field supervisor. You will remember it when you see it. Okay? Critical role in the competition. You're going to get to direct the activities on the field. You get to direct the activities off the field. All right? You'll be maintaining the pace of the event and the smooth flow. And you get to work in collaboration with the field technical advisor. The FTA, field technical advisor, will be your best friend. Guaranteed, okay? Get to know them well. All right, so some things to remember. Always plan to arrive at the venue early. Why do we want to be at the venue early?
Because there might be some things on the field you have to fix and replace.
Exactly. Things will go wrong. Always, things will go wrong. Trust your fellow volunteers. Jacqueline's worked for me before. She's one of my favorite people to work with. Okay, I've done this before with her. And how was I when you worked for me?
Oh, very easy to work with.
Very easy to work with.
Very
That's
knowledgeable, yes.
good answer. Good answer. Okay, trust that your volunteers will work for you. All right, and always keep a positive attitude. No matter what goes wrong, keep a positive attitude. And the FTA event coordinator will be the best resources that you will have. Okay, always. And things will go wrong. Now, some of you are thinking, well, what can go wrong? It's a game, right? Jacqueline, you may remember this field.
Very much so.
That is for Ray, that is the 2016 game for Stronghold. This game was the one that almost made me quit. And the reason it almost made me quit was because of these right here. All of this. Looks simple, right? No problems. This was one of the worst games to set up, to run, and to take down in the history of the first robotics competition. Jacqueline, were you at the Alamo Regional when we played this game?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
What happened at that regional? Do you remember?
Not exactly in terms of...
Well, let's see. We were an hour behind after the first match.
That I do remember.
After that all happened, then we kind of figured everything that could possibly happen would happen. And guess what? It did. The only thing that didn't happen was a dragon flying out of the field. And we sure expected that that was going to happen too. We had a fire drill. The field was a mess. This was one of the worst games ever. Ever. But we got through it, didn't we? We got through it. All right, so we need more field supervisors that are trained, and here's why. In 2018, we had 6 regional events in the regional model. Alamo, Dallas, Lubbock, and 2 in Houston. Okay?
That's fine.
And 1 in San Antonio. In 2019, we moved to 11 district events here in the state.
Almost double.
2 in week 1, 2 in week 2, 2 in week 3, 2 in week 4, 2 in week 5, and the district championship in Austin. Why is this a problem? And why do we need more folks? In 2018, 6 regional events, right? 6 regionals, 1 repeat field supervisor, which meant that 1 person will be able to repeat an event. So how many field supervisors do we actually need for that year? 5, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, skip to 2019. 11 district events, right? 1 repeat. How many field supervisors do we need for this year?
10.
10. That is double the amount of field supervisors that we need to have trained. Double the amount. So does it make sense why we're training up more folks to do this? All right. Let's bring that back. All right. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anything?
Just that the game was awesome for the kids. May have been really difficult for you, but
Stronghold?
Stronghold was so much fun to watch.
Stronghold was a blast. It was a great, great game. But it was not fun for us.
For a field supervisor.
The gray hair, see the gray hair? That's why. All right, so no questions, comments? All right. Now that you've seen what the field supervisor position is, I want to emphasize a few things that we've covered in the presentation. First one, be flexible. Always be flexible. You need to be able to change at a moment's notice, just like that. Number 2, be available. Always let your crew know where you're going to be at all times. 3, crew comes first. Jacqueline will tell you that my number 1 priority at any event is my crew. I make sure that if they have to go to the bathroom, they're able to do that. I make sure if they need to eat, that they get to do that. And I will actually take their position to let them go eat. Okay? Crew comes first. They will work for you as long as you go ahead and treat them right. All right? And the last thing, always have fun. Because if you don't, then it will show it's going to be a bad event. Guaranteed. It will not go well. Okay? And lastly, thank you so much for volunteering. Jacqueline.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
So, when do you have to arrive, and how long do you have to stay, and how many days?
Good
does it
question.
cover?
As a field supervisor, you have to be the first one there and the last one out. Okay? Which means that in the district events now, because we are going to 3-day events, 3-day district events, you have to be there the first day to put the field up. And you get to stay till the truck leaves. Which means that you have to stay until the truck is loaded. Sometimes 3-4 hours, sometimes 8 hours, depending on which event and how complicated the event actually is. Answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Ray, any questions?
I can't think of any.
Can't think of any? Blank mind? All right. I've given you all 3 pieces of information, 3 packets. The first one actually has the PowerPoint. The second one, actually, if you look at that, has some web links and contact information. Will tell you how to get a hold of me. Tells you also how to get a hold of First, US First. And then you also have a third piece of information, which is a critique for me. And if you would please fill those out, I would surely appreciate it. Great. Thanks for your time, guys.